Case Study 0035, Jurassic School. Nerdy middle schooler Tommy is forced to take care of a baby dinosaur after his clone science fair project hatches early. He quickly begins to think of the creature not as a pet, but also a friend. Good God, how long is this? But when the dino escapes on the day of the fair, Tommy must figure out a way to get the creature back before greedy grown-ups get to the dinosaur first. Jesus Christ. So, Kelsey, how are you doing?
Pretty good, just
Yeah?
life.
How this movie affect you?
It gave me a really like a whole range of emotions.
That's fair.
I think sometimes it was what I expected and sometimes it was not, and I was sad when it was not what I expected.
I can't wait to hear what you expected. And I gotta say, I realized this is a children's movie. That's fine. I get it. But it was flawed.
Yeah, even within the genre of children's movie, and I feel like it couldn't decide if it was a children's movie sometimes. It was a strange time.
It had the Disney trademark of adults are so stupid, which I appreciated because it's so stupid. I love it.
Yeah.
We watched Jurassic School. Let's get into it. First off, credits are in Comic Sans. You know you're in for something good right there. We see Tommy riding his bike down the sidewalk. He is riding the biggest bike. It's like an old cruiser with a basket in the front. Fantastic. Loved it. He's on his way to his Saturday afternoon, whatever, school thing. They show kids on the track. They're doing a track meet or practice or whatever. We get to overhear the first stupid adult conversation where these little girls are like, I hate the science teacher. She doesn't teach us anything. I know. And she is always asleep. Is that something that happens?
It did not happen at any point in the movie. I was really looking forward to that.
I know. If anything, that science teacher looked like she was coked up beyond belief at all times. She was so hyper.
Real energized.
And then their coach is like, all right, ladies, it's time for suicides. And the little girl's like, I think you mean sprints. Another stupid-ass adult. Thank you. So Tommy gets in, and we meet Ethan, who's like, oh, my whack-ass dinosaur toy that I totally made and didn't buy at the store isn't working for some reason. Tommy fixed it for him, fine. And we learned that Ethan's kind of a dick.
He's actually the worst. As I was watching this, I kept texting people, I think that this might be the worst movie villain I've ever seen. He's so mean. At least, if an adult is the villain, it's okay, they've lived a life and they've made some bad choices. But I'm like, dude, what are you, 10? He has no excuse.
He's got a poor household is what it is. He lives with emotional abuse every day.
Apparently.
And he's just passing it on. And this whole thing was so confusing. What was it? Yaps or...
Oh, yeah.
Baps or...
Yeah, something of the paleontology scholars, young something.
I didn't even bother to even think about what it stood for. I was just like, that's a stupid name.
I think I rewound and checked because I was like, I want to see if there's a legitimate reason for calling it this. And I was like, no, these words don't need to be together.
But it makes a word, so it's fine.
Exactly.
But also, Ethan's experiment, it just pissed me off because I know I've seen that toy at the thrift store a million times. They just cut a section out and crammed some computer pieces in it. And I was just like, dude, no. And its main draw is that it poops out donut holes.
Right.
Really?
Which I was really confused by that because it started doing that and immediately people assumed and accepted that it was donut holes. And I'm like, if something is coming out of a dinosaur's butt, wouldn't you maybe check first? Like,
right.
They're just like, oh, I know exactly what this thing that came out of this dinosaur's butt is, and I would love to eat it.
Yes, I'm going to put this in my mouth immediately.
Exactly.
No. First off, there's no way there's a deep fryer inside of that dinosaur toy. There's another scene where it is just shitting out these donut holes like endlessly. Yeah. Where are they keeping these donut holes?
Right. It's so much more than the dinosaur can fit. I just don't like, is it actually producing them? In which case it's not donut hole. Like, yeah, there's no way this is okay.
You. No, every part of it is wrong. Okay, so I guess they're presenting these experiments. All right, wait, first we got to get into Tommy's experiment, which, what the fuck also? He had like this weird analog 1960s computer hooked up to like a Marble Madness game. Like, What the fuck?
That is how science works.
There was absolutely no need for those marbles. It went down a little thing and then What? I hated the science in this movie. I hated it so much. I realize this is a children's movie, but I'm going to talk about it as if they presented it as real science because that's how it was presented to me.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
It's absolute bullshit. And I was wondering, like, what is the objective of, like, showing that it is the marble thing? Like, are you trying to tell young kids, like, if you also have this toy, you can make live dinosaurs from scratch as well? Like, what? Why?
Exactly. Yeah, if you know how to put up like a Marble Madness route with all these little pieces, you too can have your own dinosaur pet. It's proven in this movie.
Yep.
And they're showing these experiments to get accepted into this program. There are tons of kids in this classroom. Only 2 of them have experiments. For some reason, it's a competition to get into the program. Like, I thought it was just like a fun program kids did after school or whatever. But no, it's like cutthroat. They're going to go to nationals. What the fuck is this Yaps? Hated it.
The scientist that they just met, who is just like there for a day, like what? Yeah, it just seemed not the way that these types of programs would be structured, you'd imagine. Like, like a paleontology science fair. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, that's already weird because that's oddly specific. Right. But still, it would be like a semester-long project with like all these other things. And instead it's just like, get your magic ready. This guy is here and he's mad and he is capitalism. It's a lot.
Maybe they go to a charter school. Maybe that's what it is.
That's probably what it is. That makes perfect sense.
I don't know what to call them anymore. When I was in my 20s, we would call the CEO type guy yuppies. I don't have a derogatory term for them anymore. I guess it's just CEO. So was he a CEO? I don't know. But this guy from the company, he was like, we need this guy, Ethan. He's a real go-getter, even though his experiment is just a shitting dinosaur.
And
why was that so great?
He emphasized twice that it was like because of his like charisma. And so, yeah, the weird thing, it's like he goes to the school with this premise of like, oh, I need this new edgy stuff. And he's like, charisma, that's what I'm looking for. How did you know, Ethan?
He's going places.
He is.
But the teacher, what's her name, Mrs. Hadley? Doesn't matter. The teacher's like, no, you need to get Tommy in the program. He's the smart one. Ethan's a little dick, or whatever she says. I don't know.
Yeah, and he continues to just be like, no, but charisma. It's just, there's a real miscommunication between those two.
What's important here, science or marketing?
Yeah.
Come on. Tommy goes home and he's like, I don't know, there's computer stuff. He's doing communications on the internet. Seemed to be like 2001 internet. This movie was made in 2017, by the way. Every website he went on was an offshoot of MySpace.
Yeah.
Lots of graphics, lots of real fun stuff.
Yeah. I particularly enjoyed when their mom came in and his sister was like, oh, it's because he has a prehistoric flip phone. And I'm like, that's maybe not the type of time period that you want to introduce in this particular movie. Like, no.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. There were so many lines in this movie where it's like, oh, are you saying something? Oh, this is going to come back. And none of it. It's all just, it falls flat.
Yeah,
completely.
It all just like goes into the ether and you're like, oh, bye. That was a fun line.
So Tommy gets word that he got accepted into this program and he runs into the kitchen to tell his family. Mom is like, holy shit, what the fuck? Get away from my fern.
Yeah.
What does she say? She says, like, you know that's the only thing I've won a first prize ribbon for.
Right. Like, that
Really?
was a really specific insight into the family dynamics that, like, I really wanted to be developed more. Because I'm like, okay, so, like, A, she's obsessed with winning prizes. So maybe he has some anxiety about this competition because of that. But, like, B, she cares about her ferns more than her children. It's just, it's real messy.
It's super messy. And I was like, oh, first prize ribbon. That she really values that competition. She's going to really help him get the first prize at this science fair that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, you would think, but apparently, no, it's only fern-related competitions that merit her enthusiasm.
Oh my God. Miss Hadley is a science teacher. And Tommy goes to school and she's like, you got to work on your presentation skills, Tommy. The most important part of science is presentation.
Which I mean, to be fair, maybe he could stop knocking eggs over. But, like, beyond that, like, I think he did a great job.
He did a great job. He's a smart kid.
He's such a smart kid. He didn't have anything come out of a dinosaur butt. Like, that, to me, is a really high-quality level of presentation. If you gotta drop an egg or two, like, that's fine.
Right. It's part of experimenting.
Exactly.
Right. And then we meet Chelsea, who I guess is Tommy's BFF. This was another, what the fuck are you guys talking about? She will not shut up about her mom.
Yep.
She keeps bringing up her mom, and she's like, oh, well, you know what my mom says. And you know what? My mom, who the fuck is your mom?
Right?
Why do I give a shit what your mom says?
Exactly.
I'm like, this is going to pay off in the end. This is going to be like a really huge cameo. This is going to be like Michelle Obama's going to come up and be like her mom, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Or, like,
spoiler, that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen at all. Like, honestly, well, and we can talk about this later, but I was surprised that there even was a mom. Just because of the way all the other jokes didn't pay off. I was going to be, is her mom a dinosaur? Like, what is happening?
Right. She's just a ward of the state and lives in the Natural History Museum.
Exactly.
That's the movie I want.
Oh, man. Sequel?
Yes. I guess we go back and Tommy's doing more experiments in his room. Where the fuck is he getting all these ostrich eggs? He has, like, I imagine in his fridge he's got a regular egg container that you get at the grocery store, only it's gigantic and it's only ostrich eggs because he has so many.
Yeah.
He's always breaking them too.
And I'm like, does he know that he's going to break them and that's why he has backups? Like, because I feel like the way he treats the original experiment, it's like, oh, I'm going to get it right. I don't picture him as having this huge container of ostrich eggs in storage, but yeah, clearly he does.
Thank you. Okay, I was wrong. He was actually showing his new growth hormone. And this kid, he's got so many experiments on the fire. And he's showing this growth hormone experiment to CEO guy and Ethan and science teacher. And he's like, okay, I don't have the analog shit, but you gotta trust me. The marbles aren't necessary right now, just for this one experiment.
Exactly.
And he's like, okay, this egg is going to grow to twice its size. And they're like, all right, let's see it. And it does. I mean, after a while it grows, but then it explodes.
Yep.
Everyone is so pissed off about it. You know what? Fuck you guys. That egg grew.
Yeah.
Eggs don't grow.
That literally was like 5 times more impressive than Ethan's thing. And they were just like, how dare you take time out of my day for this failure? I'm like, what are you I can't do that. Like, why aren't you excited about that? I thought you cared about science.
He's got like egg yolk dripping off his nose for like a good 5 minutes. It's just dangling there like something about Mary scene or something.
Yep.
And not impressed. Eggs do not grow.
Right.
He made an egg grow. The fact that it exploded just means it was growing too fast.
Exactly. It's like a balloon. Like, just get with the program, people.
This is science. If you don't like science and you're just into marketing, go into marketing.
Exactly.
Bro.
Go to a marketing business called Ethan Company. I don't know. I just don't like... You're bad at science. Stop it.
Exactly. And I also have to mention there was way too much talk about genetic material in a children's movie for me. It skeeved me out. Anyway, we're in Tommy's bedroom now. He looks over and he's like, "What's that?" And the egg is moving, but it wasn't the egg. It was the grass underneath the egg that was moving. Like obviously someone's pushing it with their hand, and I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah.
So of course it hatches. It's a dinosaur. He's like, "Ah, you're real." Yeah, okay. The dinosaur leaps into the growth hormone and sucks it down. And then Mom comes to the bedroom door and she's like, "Tommy, I heard noises. Is everything okay?" What did you hear?
Right.
You heard an egg hatch?
Right.
What? Are you...
Yeah,
Mom.
I think she has super hearing that is only egg focused, maybe. It's part of her like fern skills that she just has like a way with nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's disturbing.
It is.
So obviously the dinosaur, since it chugged down the growth hormone, grows to full size.
Yeah, predictable.
God, Tommy's parents. What's the deal?
They're terrible people. Like, I don't, it's funny. It's like, obviously I want to get to know Ethan's parents to know why they're, how just his origin story. But honestly,
sure.
like, I would expect Ethan to come from parents like Tommy's. They're just, they're not interested in things beyond ferns and being bad parents. Those are their two hobbies.
It was fully the adults are idiots trope. And there's a scene, I think in a little bit, where Tommy, he's like sneaking into the kitchen and he walks past the parents and they're watching cartoons and they are just loving. These are the best cartoons these parents have ever seen. And all you can hear is like boings and fart noises. I was like, what?
I bet they would really love the donut hole dinosaur. Like I think.
Oh my god!
Like
they would have been like, "Tommy, how did you even get into this? This guy has a farting dinosaur.
Exactly.
I mean, a pooping dinosaur."
They're like, this is like something that happened on our show.
This is just like episode 4.
Exactly.
They barge into his room and he's like trying to get them out. And there's just one scene with the wildest ADR where he's like, "Great chat, guys. I gotta get back to work." It was so great. Loved it.
I always wonder with stuff like that, like where was the ADR recorded? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did they not have money for an actual ADR studio? And so they were just like, "Hey, can you just yell into your iPhone for me, please?" It was great.
But we're on a bus right now. It's fine. Just do it.
It'll be great. You know what? Worst case, we'll just have another actor say it.
Right. Your back is turned in the scene. It's fine. It's fine. Just
exactly.
do it. So now the dinosaur is full size, not the size of the dinosaur on the poster.
Not at all.
Or anywhere near it.
No. I was expecting a large dinosaur. I felt that I was being advertised a movie where a dinosaur is very large and chases children. It was, there was some chasing for sure, but it was a medium-sized large dinosaur. Like, just very different genres.
Yes. In the poster, I believe there were little tiny people riding on top of the dinosaur, smaller than its mouth or tiny.
Yeah.
This dinosaur is not that.
No.
The whole time, the entire movie, it's like smaller than a Great Dane.
Yep. And it keeps having growth hormone, so I'm like, oh, okay, so it's gonna get as big as the other. And nope, like that just did not happen at any point in time. It was really, I feel sad. I wanted some children to be in danger, I guess is what I was saying. I don't know.
Of course.
We
were sold a bill of goods.
Exactly. We were lied to.
Agreed. Because of this, I mean, obviously it's for budgeting because somebody had a really dope hand puppet that they wanted to use as the dinosaur. So that's what they did. We got a lot of great scenes of children petting another hand, which I love. It's just a dinosaur puppet. You guys, I'm not fooled. I'm smarter than that.
It was a very friendly, sad-looking hand, so it had that going for it.
Also, he named it Spike, which makes no sense. He doesn't have any spikes.
No! And like Spike is for like it didn't make sense to me because it was really portrayed as this sweet, vulnerable dinosaur. And so like, I don't know, just a vulnerable, maybe human coded name, even like an in-between, not super vulnerable, right? Like if the dinosaur was named like Roger or something, that still would have been better than Spike. I would have been like, oh, is he really a Roger? Like maybe he's like more of an Alan or like a, you know, like a, but no, there's like Spike to me is like a dog that has like those little pointy things on its collars.
Yes.
And that was not at all this dinosaur.
And if we're going for like dog names, how about Spot? More appropriate. I mean, I don't even know if it has spots, but
it's fine.
Spot would be better.
Yeah, it's like the correct quantity of wholesome. Yeah.
Exactly.
Even just like Fluffy would have been fine. I get that it's not Fluffy.
Yes.
But
I love
it
Fluffy.
doesn't have spikes, so come on.
Tommy's like, oh, you must be starving, all that growing you just did. I'm going to go get you some food. And he snags the fern. But first, before he snags the fern, he like sneaks out of his room. And when he sneaks out of his room, he opens a door and he looks both ways. One of those ways was a wall. Why? What are you doing, dude? You're supposed to be a smart science dude.
But you know, like when people are really good at one area of science, often it means they have really strong gaps in other areas. So it's like he's so good at dinosaurs, maybe just really struggles with like what walls
Physics?
are. Yeah, exactly. Like this wall seems like a place where my parents could materialize.
Right. He's got book smarts. He's not street smart.
Exactly.
Or hallway
Always
smart. Also, this is when I noticed the soundtrack was insane. It was loud and an onslaught, never-ending, wacky, not classical, don't know how to explain it, very much soundtracky, kids movie music.
Yeah, it was like very high stakes and yet not. Like it was like, woo, dinosaur fun, but also weird, wacky vibes. It was very confusing.
Yeah. Boy, this was a movie.
It was a movie.
He goes back to his room. You know what? I don't even know where we are, but I know that he went to leave his room. His sister comes out of her room, which is across the hall, and she's like, what the fuck is your deal, nerd? Or whatever she says. I don't know. And he's like, what? What's going on? And he sees Spike go into her room, and he's like, oh, I gotta distract her with the hug. And somehow that makes Spike go back into his room.
That's how dinosaurs work, I guess. Like, you hug your sibling, and they're like, oh, room switch.
Gotta go.
Yep, sorry.
The logic. I mean, I can't read my handwriting. I was writing so fast because there's so much to try and remember. Oh, that was another thing. At the beginning, when he's telling his parents that he made it into this program, his dad's like, let's celebrate with dino nuggets, which gross. And Tommy's like, yeah, awesome, dope. And then he looks and Tommy's like, oh, we don't have any. How about kale? First off, kale's not a substitute for dino nuggets.
No.
Second off, I thought that was going to play out somewhere at some other time. So when he goes to get the fern, I'm like, why don't you just get the kale?
Right?
It's probably going to be more nutritious.
Yep.
Your mom's not going to fucking lose her mind.
Yeah. I don't, like, maybe
Tommy.
there was a deleted scene where the dinosaur didn't like kale that would have made complete sense of it. But no, he just went straight for the ferns.
I love the idea of there being all these deleted scenes that mention all the weird lines that seem like they should have had callbacks.
I mean, it would be nice.
That's the movie I want.
It's probably not true, but, you know, it's just
No,
something I tell
in
myself.
my head it's true.
Exactly.
We get to the next day. Tommy's sleeping on the floor because he let Spike have his bed. Adorable.
Right.
Stupid, but adorable.
Good kid.
Yeah. And his mom hasn't noticed that her fern is missing.
No.
Her fern, that's like her blood.
Yeah. Like there's no
she
way
doesn't-
she doesn't kiss it before bed every night. That's weird.
Absolutely. She touches it in a weird way every night.
Yep. Her husband is very jealous.
Can we leave the fern out in the kitchen tonight?
I'm sorry, I can't. I just have really strong feelings.
Spike gets sick. Tommy's like, oh, I get it. Obviously, you need more oxygen.
Yeah, that's...
I'm going to buy all the plants on Earth and put them in my room.
It just like, he gets this like 1 hour delivery from this plant company. Like, is that a thing?
I mean, it is now, but in 2017, absolutely not.
It was not.
First off, who? Second off, how?
Wait.
Third off, what? I mean, I get the idea that plants give off oxygen, but no.
Yeah.
I do not accept this theory at all.
It's not just
This
like,
would
oh,
not
put
work.
more plants in the room and this dinosaur that is barely able to breathe will suddenly be fine. Like, I don't think... When that first happened, I was like, oh, cool, I learned something about oxygen and how to save dinosaurs. And then I was like, wait, no, that's not how air works. Like, no.
Because it was literally like, he set up the plants, put a plastic sheet over it, and then like 2 minutes later, Spike's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Also,
I don't buy
it made
that.
it look like he had like a grow house in his bedroom. Like, it was just weird.
But also, we gotta mention the delivery
my
driver for
God.
those plants who was terrified of this hand puppet that he saw.
But was terrified of it, but didn't do anything. Because I was like, oh, is he going to call the authorities due to the dinosaur sighting? And he was just like, whoa, oh, no. Sometimes I go into a house to deliver plants and there's something scary, but I have a confidentiality clause, so I just get out of here as fast as I can.
Right, that clause. God damn it.
Yeah. I was gonna call the Ministry of Dinosaur Sightings, but unfortunately, I have signed an NDA, so I'm just gonna run out of here.
Also, why? Like, he sees that and the first thing he thinks is, there's a monster in here. Not like, hey, there's kids playing with a toy. Hey, maybe that's a puppet. Hey, because it was a hand puppet. No. It's automatically some sort of monster in these people's house.
Yeah, 100%.
You're a dumb...
And it's like the kids aren't afraid of the puppet dinosaur, but yeah, one delivery guy is like, this is literally the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dad comes in and he's like, what's going on with all the plants, bro? I'm just, experimenting. I'm science guy. Oh, that's cool. Maybe someday I'll get to see a real-life T-Rex. Dad, you're such a fucking idiot. They'll never make T-Rexes. They did in a movie called Jurassic Park, you asshole.
Stop asking me about my plants, Dad. You're dumb. You don't know science like I do. Stop watching cartoons, idiot.
Dad's like, hey, you didn't happen to borrow Mom's fern, did you? And first off, that's a weird-ass question.
Yeah.
It may have been true and valid, but it's a weird-ass question.
It's a very weird question.
And second, you're just now noticing? What? Like, come on.
I love that it's just, that he just asked that question. Like, there's no like, hey, I noticed you have a fuck ton of plants in here. By any chance, did you take the other plant that was in this house and put it in here? Like, he just does not address the 8,000 plants that are behind them. Just ask what one would assume if they weren't looking would just be a completely unrelated fern question.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I just think like they need to maybe take like a parenting seminar. Like, do they just not know how to talk to their children? Like, is this a strategy? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm sure a lot of parenting books come in audio form now. So, I mean, it's so easy to get that kind of information.
Yeah. They could play it over one of their cartoons. That way it's not cutting into their TV schedule. Like, I think it's fine.
Yes.
There also is the alternate explanation that maybe the dad is really smart and he knows that the fern is in there, but he wants it out of his bedroom so he can have a night alone with his wife.
Nice.
So he's just playing
That's
dumb.
a really... Yeah, it's a good possibility.
I'm pretty sure that's what's
is.
happening. He's the smartest character in the movie, 100%.
Yep. That's canon now.
It is canon.
Spike's about a day old, and Tommy has decided he's going to teach it tricks.
Yep. As you do.
Successfully.
Yeah.
Like, this dinosaur's smart. He picked it up immediately, which I'm going to call bullshit on. And Mom comes in, and she's like, holy fuck, my fern's in here? I've been looking for this for like an hour, because I didn't notice it before. And she's like, you are so fucked, dude. I'm pretty sure that's what she said.
Yeah, 100%.
And, and to punish him, she takes away his computer, which is a weird punishment because that's how he does his schoolwork. But that's fine.
Yeah, it's weird. How does that... I haven't been a child in a long time, but yeah, it's like, we'll take away like your devices or something, but you didn't need them for school. Like, is this film really just a commentary on how hard it is to be a parent in contemporary America?
It's a commentary on how children see adults as being stupid, but we're actually the smart people.
You're so smart. Oh my God.
Thank you. Spike and Sis meet up somehow. Sis screams. This was disgusting. The scream coming out of Spike grossed me out so much. I hated it.
It was not right. It was, and I think similar to the name, I was like, I don't buy that this sound is coming from this dinosaur. It just didn't feel right.
I hated it. It was like tortured E.T. Hated. Mom calls Sis before this, though, and she's like, you gotta do laundry. And she's like, fine, I'll do laundry. And in this next scene, when she's doing laundry, when she discovers Spike, she's holding a giant laundry basket and a broom. Why are you holding a broom? Are you sweeping the laundry into the basket?
Oh, that's smart. I didn't do that.
Especially if you're doing your middle school brother's laundry, I can see how that would make sense.
Yeah, I just like, I don't want to touch this. Like,
no.
Yeah, it's her way of kind of acting out. Like, all right, if you make me do this dumbass's laundry, I will be using a broom. Just FYI. It's like, right? It's the whole like stereotypical trope of when a man will be like, oh, I don't know how to do laundry. I'm just gonna make it worse to get the woman of the house to do it. Maybe it's like a reverse that, where she's trying to be like, listen, I don't know how to do laundry. I am clearly using the wrong tools. I think you should assign someone else to this particular chore.
Yes, an example of weaponized incompetence.
Thank you.
Is what it is.
Exactly.
You're welcome. I mean, if a teenage girl can't use that, who can?
Exactly. I think it's just a call for those of us who don't use that to just start. It's like, no, I'm going to start doing my laundry with a broom. I mean, there's no one else.
I don't know any better.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, that's not going to help me because there's no one else in my apartment that's going to do it for me. But you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to see what happens.
I wish you luck on that venture.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sis blackmails Tommy once she discovers Spike. Of course, because whatever. I guess I called Cynthia Chelsea earlier. Is there a Chelsea? You know what? I never remember names. I never write them down. That's on me. My bad.
Yeah, the only name I remembered was Spike.
That's fine. That's all you need. Cynthia, Tommy's bestie, calls him from the library, and she's eavesdropping on the science dudes. They're real mad. They're real mad because Tommy's not returning his emails because he doesn't have a computer and he only has a flip phone. Man, if you're that pissed off, just call him.
Yeah.
Just call him.
Right.
You seem so disturbed that you can't get a hold of him, but you can.
Yeah, very easily in a medium of communication that actually is more appropriate for this situation. Like, why would you spend your time typing an email?
Yeah, absolutely. He runs to the library. I don't know why they're at the library to do these experiments anyway. Like, the science teacher's there, just go in the science room.
Yep, yeah, because there are science supplies and things of that nature in there.
So Tommy also has his experiment. He's got Marble Madness back.
Yep.
That's apparently still something that we need to make this work.
Yeah. Not the second time, just the first and the third time.
Yeah. And I guess I was wrong. This is when the egg grows.
Did it not grow before?
I don't remember what the second time was. He brought it before. There were 3 times he showed them. The first time, the middle time, I don't know what the middle time was, and this time.
It did something the middle time. Maybe it grew a little or it shook like it was starting to grow. It showed signs of progress before it exploded.
Stupid adults.
I know, they're so dumb.
We get back to Sis and Spike, and they're doing each other's nails and makeup, and she teaches them how to do a high five. It's adorable. And then we cut back to the school, and since CEO dude got egg on his face, literally, he fired Tommy from the program.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, I guess that's my lot in life. And then the teacher chases him out, and she's like, Tommy, science isn't about quitting.
Yes.
He didn't quit.
Right?
He got kicked out of the program. I thank you for the advice, but I wasn't quitting, Mrs. Headley.
Yeah, this really is starting to feel a little bit like gaslighting. That's not what happened.
No.
She's trying to inspire him. Science isn't about quitting. It's about failing. until you're successful. And I'm like, wait, I get that learning is about making mistakes and learning, but that's not quite what she said.
No,
you
not at all.
Go into that like, all right, let's just fail a ton of times until something magical happens. That seems like how white cis men in corporate America works, not science. This seems like a really mixed narrative.
Yes, absolutely. Let's not try until magic happens. That's science.
Science. That's how all of our scientific discoveries happen. Just like, you know what? I'm just going to fail. And then maybe like, I won't give up. I'll just keep doing it really badly. And I'm just going to sit around and just see what happens.
Right. I'm not going to learn anything or take notes or like make a mental note of anything. No. I'm just going to keep doing the same shit.
Yep. And just
maybe the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And just focus on your charisma. You'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hashtag science.
It's all. Then we cut back to Sis and Spike having the most fun some more. And it made me think about like if I was a middle schooler and I was forced to take selfies with a hand puppet for like a good few hours at my day of work. Yep. How humiliating would that be? What'd you do today? Oh, we just shot this movie. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, what scene did you do? I played the sister of this guy. It's fine. Yeah, what was the scene about? I played with a hand puppet. Humiliating.
It's so humiliating. I think the way it just felt like the sort of trope of like the bonding between two young friends of like, all right, like first we're gonna paint each other's nails. Mm-hmm. And then she taught him how to high five. It's just this whole thing. And then it's like, oh, well, yes, the next, obviously selfies are the next sort of part of, it's the next phase and those good times. Right. And it was just, I felt like it's like that just leapt into a whole new genre. Like it was it was like the fun teenager girls times go buy something at Limited 2 with the dinosaur moment. It was really awkward.
Oh my God, I want the mall makeover scene so bad now.
With like a music video to go along with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see now I feel betrayed on another level that we didn't get that.
I'm sorry. So Tommy gets home and he's like, oh, I'm so sad I got kicked out. And Sis is like, you know what? I got you back. Let's go show everyone how smart you are. And Spike is awesome. And let's do it. They get to school. Ethan gives Tommy his bullshit toy robot dinosaur. And that spooks Spike. Yep. It runs away. It's fine. Whatever. We see... what's his name, CEO guy, Dr. Reggie, is like, what's going on? This is what? I thought he left. Like, why is he still at the school hanging out with these kids? Shenanigans is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm like concerned that maybe he actually doesn't work for a science company and he's just an unemployed man who just is looking to fill a void in his life. Because, like, wouldn't he have like meetings and stuff? He just is only there ever. He's really focused.
Yes. And when he takes them to the lab, quote unquote, you know it's just a big storage unit. Yeah. Come on, dude. Yeah. It's all a front.
It 100% is.
So we get into this wacky chase. It wasn't even a chase scene. It was a chase section of the movie. It went on forever. Wackiness ensued. The librarian calls somebody and says there's an animal attack that she can't describe, and they hang up on her.
She said it was like some kind of like a dog with something. It was
with scales, a giraffe that something.
I couldn't tell if she could tell that it was a dinosaur but didn't want to be laughed at, or if she genuinely thought it was a dog with scales. That was not clear to me at all. And I personally, I really wanted to know what she thought. To me, that character perspective was really important, and I got nothing.
I know. It was disappointing.
It is.
She's a librarian. She had the words for it.
Exactly. Hasn't she ever read a book and seen what a dinosaur looks like? I 100% call bullshit on that.
So right after that, we cut to this woman in a car eating a bagel like a sociopath. Like it's a fucking burger or something. People... eat your bagel in halves, please. I implore you.
We already live in a messed up enough world. Just eat your bagels correctly, please.
Thank you. And she gets a call because she's a government person about an animal But the librarian was hung up on. Who is calling this government agent lady? I don't understand what's happening here.
Maybe the librarian called, I don't know, like a diner, and the person at the diner was like, oh, this isn't related to us. I'm going to hang up really quickly and then pass this message on to the government.
Right. That's probably a good call, yeah.
Yeah, that was another deleted scene.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, the diner.
Thank you. Yes. I mean, if they didn't cut all these really important scenes out, this movie would have been 3 hours long, and they couldn't make it that. They had to like keep in this chase scene that lasts a good hour and a half.
Exactly. Just like priorities.
Yes, thank you.
You're so smart.
This woman, this government lady, she gets to the school, and Dr. Reggie is like, oh, the feds were alerted. First off, this is just a woman. She's not wearing a t-shirt that says feds. Yep. She's just a woman in a suit. And I'm still unclear on who the fuck she is, because she's not feds. She's like animal welfare, but not, but...
Yeah, I feel like he was sort of treating it as like a division of the FBI, and I feel like that was really not what she was.
Exactly. And it's all because, as we all should have a healthy distrust for the government, he knows he's doing some shady-ass shit.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, I just said that as a joke, but he actually was.
He 100% is.
Spike, Tommy, and Sis escape, and Dr. Reggie's still running after them, saying that the dinosaur is property of Vista Tech Labs, which is, his place. Vista Tech Labs comes... This movie! And, okay, Vista Tech Lab comes, grabs Spike, drugs the hand puppet, leaves. Tommy is mad. Sis pretends to be sick so Tommy can escape because they're holding him back.
Yep, that was a very sweet, bizarrely effective distraction.
Right.
There was this moment of like, oh no, the child is distracting us by fainting. Like, what are we going to do? And literally all 8 people had to focus on that. It was impressive in a way that it should not have been. Right. Because it's like, why do they suddenly care about children? This is a world where people are like, oh, your charisma sucks. You're fired. Also, I care more about my ferns than you. A child... pretends to faint in the fakest way ever, and 1,000 adults are like, oh no, we need to stop dealing with this dinosaur problem.
They thought she was dead. They thought she was like, oh, I'm dying. Somebody. All right. They're at the lab, and we're at Reggie's storage unit with the ET room with the plastic partition so you could not see that there was a puppet.
Yep.
He's yelling at Ethan. He says to him, I lose this grant if he's no longer alive. Like, fix it, Ethan. This is like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And this adult is like, fix this biological being.
Right, that you did not create and had no involvement with whatsoever. Right. After I selected you for this science thing based purely upon your charisma skills.
Right, that has not existed in millions of years. Read a book, you stupid idiot, and fix this being.
Use your charisma, Ethan. Why did I hire you?
He says, I staked my reputation, my career on this. Dude, that's on you.
Right?
That's on you.
That is your bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, wait, when did that happen? I thought he staked his career on the donut butt dinosaur. I'm sorry, when did you... I'm still not clear on when he changed to staking his career on this alternative... I don't understand.
No, it's nonsensical.
I'm missing something.
No, you're not.
Okay, cool.
So Tommy and Sis get up to the front door of the lab. They've got Ethan's donut pooping dinosaur, and they put a post-it on it that says from Ethan and make it walk to the door. Boy, this scene was so logical. The security guards open the door and they're like, oh, what's this? Oh, it says from Ethan. Hey, isn't that Prodigy kid in that thing? Oh, checks out. Yeah. Let it in. How? How does that check out?
Right,
How the fuck?
He's inside. The dinosaur is outside. Like, the geography of the situation just does not make sense.
Regardless, it just said from Ethan. Ethan, I'm pretty sure Ethan has a last name. Are we not gonna...
Oh, yes, Ethan. All right. I'm so excited.
The prodigy.
The prodigy who has so much charisma that he has the ability to make dinosaurs appear outside.
I mean, they have to let it in because it's from Ethan.
For sure.
And then the woman's like, you smell that? So, in theory, if she can smell it, it is actually making the donut holes and pooping them out.
At that moment.
Yes. And these security guards go fucking nuts.
God.
They're like, have never seen donut holes in their lives, and it's the most important thing that has ever happened to them. They are stuffing their faces as if they've never eaten. It was bizarre.
It feels like it's playing off the cops and donuts trope in a like security guards and donut holes kind of way. It is the best distraction ever. They immediately care about nothing else. Also, just to call attention to the moment when they say, did you order anything? Nope. Like, there's like, oh, I'm sorry, did you order this donut hole shitting dinosaur?
Oh yeah, no, that was my toy I ordered.
You got that like on QVC.
I told him just
like,
yeah, I told him to just leave it unwrapped and walking towards the door when they deliver it.
With the post-it note saying it's from a random person who was here. And like that to me, it's just so fun how much that is juxtaposed with their enthusiasm. They do all the work of, this seems suspicious. I did not order anything. And then there's that immediate transition of like, ah yes, donut holes. Let's eat 74 of these immediately. Exactly.
I didn't even pick up on the cop donut trope at all. I was just like, these guys are crazy for donuts.
I mean, that honestly, that makes more sense. I think I'm ascribing more narrative complexity to it than actually exists.
I think you are. I think you're giving this movie way too much credit.
Yeah, I think on the page it's just like, oh, cool, donut shitting dinosaur. There are no associations beyond that.
Exactly. They cut back to the weird plastic partition room in the storage unit, and Reggie's like, what's up? Did you fix him, Ethan? What the fuck? And Reggie's like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. No shit! You're a fucking child, and this is a new creature that hasn't existed in millions of years. Why would you?
Right.
Good God. We go through so many weird cuts. The kids get into the building, and immediately Reggie's like, hey, you kids, out of the what? Get them. And there is another chase scene. Boy, I can't get enough of chase scenes.
Oh my God, they're so good.
So good. And this one is super fun because it takes place in the Dunder Mifflin building. Super fun. Teacher's there, and she's like, all right, you guys, hide in here. And she puts them in a room, and then they come out wearing hazmat suits, or at least Tommy and Sis do.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah. Like,
perfect
disguise. Who are these small humans in hazmat? I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, nothing suspicious is happening. Hazmat, that's absolutely something that we need for this dinosaur situation.
Absolutely. And they get into the storage unit, and teacher's like, hey, we need one of those things. Can you go, guy that's watching the dinosaur, could you go get the what's it called? Science lady doesn't know what a defibrillator is called?
No,
come on.
That is concerning. Lady. Just as like an educator who's around small children, probably none of whom know CPR. And so if something happens, ideally she should, it makes me worried for the safety of the children, I guess.
I mean, we should have been worried about the safety of these children in general from the beginning.
That's true.
But they're also all assholes, so I don't care.
Yeah, 100%. They deserve it.
But also, why not, like, if you're gonna get caught, if they're gonna come back, whatever, ask for oxygen. You guys need oxygen. Get oxygen.
Yeah. Or even be like, hey, can you get us some oxygen, but also just leave it outside the door for no apparent reason? Right. That would be great. Right. Yeah, and then go take a break.
Yeah, we got this. It's fine. Yeah. They decide they're going to put the dinosaur in a garbage can and sneak it out, which is some, like, Annie level shit. I love it.
Yeah, 100%. I was actually disappointed that at no point was the Annie soundtrack involved. Like, I think just like like a sort of like dubstep instrumental version of It's a Hard Knock Life while taking the dinosaur out of the building would have been beautiful.
I agree. That would have been really nice.
Yeah, that was the only problem with this movie. The rest was flawless. It's just the absence of the dubstep Annie soundtrack.
Yep, I agree. They take Spike, they wheel him to just like a few feet away from this lab, which seemed like a bad idea. They should have gone farther.
Just a little
maybe
bit
the
further,
teacher, maybe the teacher could have driven him somewhere.
Oh, yeah!
Maybe.
Like, I know she doesn't know what a defibrillator is, but she might know what a car is.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
She's got to get places.
Yeah.
She's been to places before.
Yeah. Worst case, she can call, like, a ride share or something. Yeah.
Which reminds me, I did not bring it up earlier. For some reason, Chelsea, it's a C word. His bestie pulls up in a white car, rolls down the window, and is like, hey, what up? You need a ride somewhere? And I was like, oh, we get to find out who her mom is now. Who's driving that car? We have no idea who's driving the car. She's just got like a driver.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is going to pay off, though. This is going to be...
It absolutely is. The driver is going to be important. It's going to be a whole thing.
No.
It's going to be 2 hours of the movie.
No. Anyway, they're in the forest. Because Spike needs oxygen, and that's where you get oxygen, apparently.
Yep, exactly. The oxygen quantity. Honestly, I don't even know why hospitals do, like, oxygen tanks. I think they just need to be like, oh, let's get some plants in here, stat.
More house plants is what hospitals need. Every COVID unit should have 10 plants each.
Exactly.
Thank
it's like,
you. I just solved it.
Like, call the ICU. We need another Fern in here. Like, why? This is so obvious. Why aren't other TV shows and movies taking advantage of this?
I mean, it's people just don't understand basic science is the problem.
They don't. Only Tommy does.
So Spike's in bad shape. He's like, well, he's going to die. He's going to die. I'll call my science teacher. I don't know why she's not with us right now, but I'll call her. She gets there. She walks up because they're only like 10 feet away from the lab.
Yep. Yeah, of course. It's efficient.
And they're all doing the worst fake cries. I mean, children, I understand you're children. However, you're also actors. No.
Yeah.
Pretend like your mom just took your computer away.
Right,
And I'm not saying that as a shitty old person. I'm saying that as a person who would cry if my computer got taken away.
Yeah. And I think that's like a good happy medium. Like, I feel like whenever I hear about directors trying to get child actors to cry, it's one of two things. It's either like, oh, nope, they're a child, I can't do that. And it's like, hey, imagine if your entire family got burned in a fire and then like the child gets traumatized and it's never like, yeah, think about if your computer got taken away for a week. I think that would have been perfect for this.
Yes. And it already happened in the movie, so he has a basis for it.
Yeah, they can like show them the scene, be like, hey, wow, that looks
remember
really
when
sad.
that happened?
Yeah. Do you have any
Traumatizing.
feelings about that?
Didn't they do that to Ricky Schroeder? Like they told him his mom died right before a scene? Didn't that happen?
I feel like a terrible person because my first instinct is to say that's hilarious. Which I guess depends on, like, you know, if it actually happened or didn't, but, like,
I'm not going to Google it, but I'm pretty sure. You're like, amazing. Damn, that's great. Right? I got to write that down.
Like, I think it's fine if it didn't. I feel like I'm one of those people, like, I don't mind if a director messes with my head as long as it's not true. Because then I'm like, oh, now I really have to be sad about this. But if they're like, oh, yeah, your cats just went to the moon. Action. Just kidding. Nope, your cats are on Earth. I'm like, oh, that got such a good performance out of me. I'm going to win an Oscar. Thank you so much.
Yep. I mean, Cats on the Moon, Dead Mom, same thing.
Exactly.
All right. So anyways, teacher lady's like, what's up? You needed me? You called me? What's up? And they're like, you're too late. He's dead. And she's like, he's not dead. There's a pulse. It's like a bird. And she said some shit. And I was like, I don't care. I don't know if this is before or after the oxygen tent, but Dr. Reggie comes out and he's like, I'm a monster. That's still mine. Same bullshit. And everyone everywhere, it was just like, okay, first we got Dr. Reggie. Then we got government lady who's going to arrest him for all of the shitty things he's doing.
Yep.
And then mom somehow knows exactly where they are. How did she even know they were missing? Like,
right?
She's out of nowhere in the woods. Mom comes like stumbling, shambling out. Oh my God, where have you been? You were at work, lady. Right? You didn't even know we were gone.
Yeah. What? Like, did the security guards tell her in between donut holes? Like, I don't understand what happened.
How did you know we were A, at the lab, and B, in the forest next to the lab?
Yeah.
Mom?
None of those things make sense.
Mom's got like a shady GPS tracker in their underwear or something.
Oh, God, that explains so much.
Does it?
No, It doesn't. I'm just like, this just feels like the start of a really uncomfortable episode of SVU. The mom with the ferns and the underwear trackers.
Gross.
Which also, where is her fern? Like, why didn't she bring it with her?
Right. I assume that she brings it everywhere.
Exactly.
It's the only thing she's won a first prize ribbon for.
Exactly.
That's
it's
not
more
something you
important
leave
than
at
your
home.
children. No.
Yes.
But then I'm also like, oh, is this like a sign that her character has grown? That she's able to like part from her fern for an hour to figure out where her children are? Yeah, like I don't buy it, but I feel like they're trying to make us think.
Yep, that's it. That's what they're doing. Yeah, they did. They made me think a lot. And this is when the big payoff comes. Cynthia, I wrote it down, so now I know her name. Cynthia pulls up in a car, and guess who's with her? You're never going to guess.
Oh my God. Is it Michelle Obama?
No.
God damn it.
No, I mean, it is her mom, but her mom's not Michelle Obama.
I feel betrayed.
I know. Are you ready to find out who her mom is?
Who's her mom?
Tabitha Nolan.
Holy shit.
I know.
Who's Tabitha Nolan?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
She's,
it sounds important.
Apparently she is the CEO of Janetta Sharp. And when she gets out of the car, Ethan like nudges Tommy and he's like, "You seeing this shit?" Yeah. A woman.
Oh my God, a woman who is really famous and recognizable because, you know, one of the things that you know when you're a child is the physical appearance of CEOs of genetics companies that are interested in dinosaurs.
Yeah, obviously.
Yep.
This was so played up and so like, holy shit, I can't believe it's her. I had to Google Tabitha Nolan. I had to Google Janetta Sharp. You know what I found? Absolutely nothing.
Oh, man.
I know. This is going to be really disappointing to hear, but both are fictional.
God damn it. Then why wasn't there an establishing scene at the like, this is one of you're in like a screenwriting class and you're giving someone feedback and then they're like, oh, well, since you mentioned this thing that's going to pay off, why don't you just do the worst possible version of this, like a television with a news scene that's like, oh, the CEO Tabitha Fancy Pants is in charge of science. Just, they did not do that. Or it was a deleted scene.
Man, I can't wait to see the director's cut of this movie.
Too. Oh my God, it's gonna be like
so
6
good.
hours long. Michelle Obama's gonna be in it.
Oh my God, that's gonna be amazing.
I can't wait.
They could have at least had a scene where Ethan and Tommy were like, man, I sure would like to work at Janetta Sharp one day. I really admire Tabitha Nolan. She sure is great.
She is an excellent CEO of Janetta Sharp. Hey, I wonder who her child is. She probably doesn't have time for child because she's a very fancy CEO. And if she did have a child, we wouldn't know them. That way it's like when you meet her, you're like, oh, I thought she didn't have a child and that even if she did, it wouldn't be someone at their school. I am flummoxed by this plot twist.
This is the best movie!
Exactly! Oh my God, my mind is literally just melting.
Yeah, none of that happened.
Nope.
Okay, I guess this is actually when Mom shows up and her first line to the children is, "What is this? I can't believe this." Let's answer the first question before you can't believe it, okay?
Yeah.
Because right now it's just a toy in a blanket, and I can believe that.
Yeah, I can't believe that you're in a forest with this puppet. Like,
and all these weird
crazy.
Adults.
Exactly. That is absurd.
And Tabitha Nolan's here. Did you guys see Tabitha Nolan?
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
I never saw her at the parent-teacher meetings. What? Oh my
She's
God.
too busy and important.
Oh my God, Tabitha. Can I have your autograph? And also, what is this puppet?
I can't believe it.
I cannot.
So Tabitha Nolan, being the savior that she is, she just announces that she's taking Spike and taking him to a sanctuary, which, yay! But also, you're not going to ask. I mean, you do not own this dinosaur.
Right. What? Like, who? Nobody has owned this. Why do people keep thinking they own this dinosaur?
Because they're adults, and adults suck.
Oh shit, you're right. Wait, is
I
like
know.
this movie trying to tell us something about adults? That they're bad?
Mm-hmm. Don't trust anyone over 12?
Oh my god. That's a valid message. I feel inspired.
Yeah, me too. So now we're at a different lab. It doesn't look like a sanctuary because it's inside of a building.
Yep.
They're teaching Spike to do like exercise, like what?
It reminds me of the movie Nell when they're like, oh, we need to study Jodie Foster, and so they take her to this facility, and like, you know, Liam Neeson and Natasha Richardson are just like really nervous for her, and like they thought it was gonna be good and it would help her, and it's clearly very bad quickly. It feels like that, except without the bad stuff. Like I think that's why I really need there to be a sequel so that we can like have our Jodie Foster dinosaur moment.
I've got it. You're gonna love this.
Oh, I'm excited.
I am excited to say it out loud. The sequel needs to be the movie Nell, where we superimpose Spike over Jodie Foster in every shot.
Oh my god! I would watch that like 600%.
Yes, I know. I'm very smart.
Oh my god. Like that, because I feel like, you know, Nell is one of those movies that like I used to enjoy, and I just don't like it anymore. You know, I've like seen it 3 times. I'm good. But I think really adding a puppet dinosaur would just bring it to the next level.
How could it not? I mean,
yeah.
Even if we reshot it.
Oh yeah.
It's going to work no matter how we do this. There's no losing with Nell with Spike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we will lose if we reshoot it, like, because Natasha Richardson is no longer available due to the being deceased thing. But it's fine. Yeah.
A different British lady that's sophisticated. It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine. I won't be upset about that. It's okay.
You love hearing about ladies dying. It's like one of your favorite things.
It is. It is one of my hobbies.
Sorry. All right, so this is pretty much the end. There's another egg hatching in the other room, and the end is like it actually hatching, the end, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Hey, what'd you think of this movie, Kelsey?
I think that I feel betrayed because it just had so many things could have happened and they didn't. And I just like, I feel like I'm still, you know, like I watched it a few days ago and I'm still kind of grieving for just all of that. Like I expected the dinosaur to become larger. I'm still, I don't know.
It should have. I mean, regardless of anything, they were obviously using CGI. They could have made a bigger dinosaur.
Yeah.
Think of the hijinks.
Right?
The hijinks would have been all over the place.
Even just for like a nice little post-credit scene of like, oh look, it's really big. Oh hey, it's standing on top of the library. I would have been like, oh yeah, I sort of got what I was advertised.
Yes. And to be fair, if that did happen, I would not know because I do not stick around after I see the first credit in the end.
Wow. I mean, that's fair.
I mean, with these movies, I don't expect a post-credit scene, and I do not care. Get me the fuck out.
Especially because there were so few other important scenes like during the movie that should have happened. It just seems really unlikely that in addition to not having those scenes, that they also, that they would have a post-credit scene. I think you're right.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite line from the movie?
Oh man. Okay, I have 2. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, I had a really hard time choosing. You sort of referenced one of these, but I really I gotta emphasize the brilliant phrasing. It was the exchange of dialogue. You didn't happen to borrow your mom's fern, did you? No, of course not. Why would I need that? Awkward silence while he is literally surrounded with plants. Like, that was just a beautiful juxtaposition of just like the thing that's happening and the thing that the person's. It was art. It gave me so much joy.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
So my other one was a subtitle because I just sometimes enjoy what people write for subtitles. Yeah. It was in brackets, drinking/purring. Just, you know, during, I think it was right after the delivery guy left and Spike was just kind of hanging out. I really enjoyed that. Like, one of my favorite subtitles of all time is in the Iron Lady, in brackets, it says seagulls crying.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like,
nice.
that's not quite what's happening, but okay. But yeah, I think for me, drinking / purring, the implication that those two were simultaneous or associated with each other, I just thought that was just a work of art. So whoever was responsible for those subtitles is a genius.
I freaking love subtitles. I don't process well. I need to see what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And sometimes the description of what's happening is fantastic, and I love it.
It's amazing. I'm just like, I feel like I'm getting a whole different version of the movie sometimes.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
I agree. I had a couple lines too. The thing with this movie, I was expecting the wackiest of wacky lines coming out of this movie. And a lot of it was just not so much wacky lines, but what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Or just the situation in general was what you said for that situation is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of just, things aren't lining up.
So I guess I'll just give you one, because I already said you smell that. That was a great line.
That was a good line.
And also, of course, that's the only first prize ribbon I've ever gotten. I guess I'm not going to say one. I'm going to say them all. And the other one is the government lady's like, this is not the first weird animalscape I've seen. All right.
It's like, really?
You win.
Oh, congratulations.
I have to also mention that the mom in this movie was in a movie that I did a few weeks ago called Hansel versus Gretel.
Oh, no.
Not as good as Hansel and Gretel.
Oh.
Obviously, it's the sequel. But she played like this femme fatale witch who, like, she was great in that movie. I mean, when I say that, you have to take it in context.
For sure.
But it was great. But I like that she was like femme fatale.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, idiot mom.
Yeah.
That's
range.
That's the graph of womanhood.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
I hope she's getting hired for lots of stuff, because like if you can fit those two types, like
Right.
you're employable. Like you don't need to be able to do anything else.
That's all the tropes of a woman.
Exactly.
Idiot and hot lady.
Exactly. Those are the two genres of the ladies in film.
Do you have a better title for this movie?
I feel like it depends how you define the word better. So I think for me, I felt that the title was not accurate, because like when I hear Jurassic School, I'm thinking like, okay, it's similar to Jurassic Park, except instead of at a park, it's at a school. And so like,
Sure.
I would be like, oh, the principal did a dinosaur experiment, and a lot of scenes will take place in the school with the dinosaur running around instead of like randomly at a library and at this kid's house. So I think for me, I really just felt it was a misnomer. And so the title that I propose, which may or may not be quote unquote good, is Jurassic After School Program Experiment Done by a Child. Like if I hear that, I know what movie I'm about to see.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Succinct.
And maybe like a little subtitle that says, P.S. The dinosaur is not as large as it is in the poster.
The poster is a lie.
Exactly.
That's the name of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with a good one. I mean, I feel like it's there and I just couldn't grab it. The best I came up with was Playing God for Kids.
Oh, I
Ching.
like that. Ching. Yeah. Playing God for Kids. Subtitle, because adults are really dumb. We know so because Ethan told us. And he's a real smart guy.
And he has a lot of charisma, and that's what's important.
Exactly. He has charisma and a beautiful character evolution. He is the most trustworthy person in this entire film.
I love Ethan now. He's my favorite.
Oh my God. He had like so many great moments. He like stood up for himself in that room. He's like, I'm not going to be involved in the death of the greatest scientific discovery of all time.
Right?
I'm like, Ethan, you're amazing. And then like,
yes.
He had, I feel like, the exchange of dialogue that was the theme of the film when Reginald was like, get off the property. And Ethan just goes, stupid adults. I'm like, yes, you get it. Thank you, Ethan. What a great guy. I think, if anything, there should be like a 7-movie series starring him just because he's changed.
Yes. Ethan is us all.
Exactly.
We can all relate to the evolution of being the asshole that turns into the rational feeling person.
Exactly.
Empathetic.
Which, maybe is a parallel for the evolution of dinosaurs from scary creatures to cute puppets.
Oh my God, you just nailed it.
Exactly.
This movie was so complex.
Yes, that was clearly the implicit message of the film and not something that I just extrapolated out of no connected details.
Absolutely. This movie was like an onion wrapped in phyllo dough, wrapped in something else that has a lot of layers.
Yeah.
It was complex and intelligent and probably one of my favorite children's movies.
I just think it exploded the genre of the children's movie in ways that all films are going to be contending with for decades.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Do you have anything you'd like to promote, Kelsey?
Oh, hell yeah. I am going to promote my Instagram and my Twitter _ Kelsey Norwood.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week. I will see you next week. Thank you, Kelsey, a million times over for joining me. It was so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody, thanks. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Kelsey.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us this week on The Asylum Case Studies. Special thanks to comedy writer Kelsey Norwood and a very handsome and talented Andy Slater, our mixer and engineer extraordinaire. Make sure to visit us at asylumpod.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever, so you'll never miss a case study. While you're at it, if you found any bit of enjoyment in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Unless you're going to be a dick, then no thank you. So until next time, I'm Tressa Slater. And that's the only first prize ribbon I've ever gotten.